I'm here with Katan Hirachand from Societe. Thank you for joining us. I was wondering what you think of the evolving challenges facing the gas and LNG industry.
Great question. I think the industry's gone through quite a torrid period over the last 5-6 years with very fundamental changes in the way these projects are developed, largely because of changes in the underlying market. But I think what we're seeing, certainly in the last 12 to 18 months, we're certainly seeing strong signs of a recovery. And by that, I mean greater thoughts around investment. So investment has returned. I think a lot of the companies active in the space are looking to do things. And I think we're also seeing some of the newer, more entrepreneurial style players keen to play a role.
And do you think that this investment is going to reduce the risk of a supply gap in the next few years, or other factors at play, that like geopolitics or other things that could kind of interfere with that?
The industry tends to be a little bit clunky in terms of the way the cycles work. You usually have a significant period where everyone's investing, and then the price crashes and no one does anything for a few years, and then you, as you put it, you usually end up in a supply crunch. I think for the future it may be a little bit different, simply because more of the actual molecules are being held now by middlemen, so what we term aggregators in the industry. So my view is the fact that those people are there and have length in their portfolios, I mean, it should reduce, cushion the impact of any potential supply crunch in the future.
And looking alternatively on the demand side, I mean, do you think that gas's place as a bridge fuel in the energy transition is secured? And what do you think about its potential even as a destination fuel?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my personal view is that gas is going to have a very critical role to play in terms of actually being quite complementary with the renewable space, just because of obvious issues around intermittency. And I think any sensible government or country is going to want to have quite a diverse mix, in terms of their portfolio. So you can easily, and we're seeing in various countries in Asia now, where there is clearly a move away from coal, nuclear, as well, and gas is more, on the agenda. So gas will have to do its thing in terms of not just cost competitiveness, but improving its green credentials. So things like methane emissions, along the value chain. But we definitely see it playing a very important role going forward.
And beyond the traditional markets, I mean, do you see opportunities for gas in transport as that's decarbonised?
Absolutely. And I think probably China is one of the most relevant examples, where a lot of the gas in the form of LNG is actually used in trucking. And that is something that is set to continue, just because such a vast country like China doesn't have the pipeline network as of yet. So the use of LNG, as a transportation fuel, I think will certainly grow. I think the other area to keep in mind is that following European legislation, we're going to have the ECA and the LMO coming into place in 2020. So that will drive more use of LNG effectively as a marine fuel in order to control sulfur emissions.
Great, well, thank you very much for joining us and answering the questions.